So, yes, and it's a Peasenhall Special. This show is being brought to you today by the letter P, and that's just an oblique kind of introduction to what we're going to do. And if you need another oblique introduction, we'll have a little listen to this.
Stop a car, stop a car, stop a car, he said. He said, 6'4", 6'4", he said. Jim said, what do you mean 6'4"? 6'4", then, Wills. He said, stop a car, I'm going in. So he went to the antique shop and the woman said, can I help you, sir? 6'4", then, Wills. He said, I know what they are. He said, because I made the bloody things, he said. 6'4", he said. Go on, Jim, he said, we can go now.
That's Tony Martin. You can hear more of his memories towards the end of the show. Because we put on a film night. That's what we did. We found there's an archive film from 1969 that was shown on BBC One. Nationally, across the country, nationally.
About the village of Peasenhall. It was all about the village of Peasenhall. It was called The English Village is Alive and Well. It was narrated by broadcasting legend Robert Dougal.
Yep.
And yeah, we were reliably informed it hadn't been seen since 1969, although we found out a couple of people had actually seen a copy somewhere in the mists of time, but pretty much nobody had seen it in 40 years. And yeah, we dug it out and we organised a film night. You wouldn't think the two of us could organise any kind of fighting our way out of a paper bag or anything like that, but we did, and you'll find out how we got on between now and 4 o'clock. And that's exactly what we decided to do. The decision was made to show the documentary, The English Village is Alive and Well, to the people of Peasenhall, like some kind of televisual time machine, I think is how we described it. Yeah. But as responsible BBC broadcasters, which we are now, we knew that you can't take a whole village back 40 years if they don't want to go. So our first move was to find out if Peasenhall thought our film night was a good idea. Yeah. Now, to do this, we picked a lovely summer's day, 2 weeks before showtime. We took a stroll around the village and we asked some of the residents if they had any recollections of the documentary.
Yes, I remember the film. My mother's uncle was one of the people on there.
Oh, who was he?
Mr. Johnson.
As some are addicted to the bottle, Victor cheerfully admits his addiction to the gun.
Poacher.
I think. Who's a poacher? He was a farmer. Well, he said the village was all alive, but they all started off with different people dying, didn't they?
Yeah, it was all suicide.
Yeah. Death, yes. Yeah, it was interesting. I suppose those things happen, don't they? I got happier memories out of the village, because we used to come to the mill here, Mr. Cole's mill.
That was a pretty sight at war, to see these mills going round.
That was pretty for the people who passed by. It wasn't so pretty for the people who worked.
No.
I remember coming up with my father with a car and trailer, and I used to grind the corn for us.
The Swan Inn is usually lively enough.
Because we were the landlady of the Swan. I think they were filmed in the Swan, yes.
There's an old boy singing, a gentleman singing a song, yes.
He stepped up behind before I'd known what he'd done. He chewed a...
That would be Rolly Chilvers. Rolly Chilvers, yes. He was one of the customers.
Back again. It's not the sort of place for man.
But we've been out of the Swan 21 years now, so my memory's not as good as it used to be.
And you've got Mrs. Mills and Mr. S. Mills.
They've both passed on, yeah.
What? I can't hear you. What you say, Steve? What did he say?
He wants to know how old you are.
Steve died a couple of 2 or 3 years ago, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
I remember. He used to have his lunch in the Weavers. Did he have a very, very sort of strong, pronounced Suffolk accent?
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Well, I don't know, Mills, he said, but I think you better go outside, ain't you?
The Reverend Thicket,
I overslept and I had a service in church at 8:30.
that was Michael Thicket's father, who owns the butcher's shop over the way there.
Yes, I'm his son. Yes, I am his son. He's deceased now.
You actually remember it being made and filmed?
Yeah, featured in it, I'm afraid, when I was about 16, 17, I suppose.
Vicar of Peasenhall and rural dean sends his pigs to market.
You're walking across the grass.
That's it, yeah, that's me and my 2 brothers there, herding the pigs into the back of the truck.
Up on the village recreation ground, the young have started something which has caught the imagination of the village.
Do you remember the banger racing?
Yes, down Septon, yeah.
This is Mr. Winkett from Peasenhall Garage.
I think it features your old man with a tow truck putting a banger into the races.
Yeah, it sounds about right, yeah.
He was a big help with his breakdown truck, towing cars in, as you can see, he's towing one in now.
Imagine the scene, it's 1969. Of course, all this would be pretty much exactly the same. Not a lot's changed around here, with the exception that this field we're about to see will be covered in hay bales. But, oh, there it is, yes, there's the football field.
We're ready then to start race number 6.
So you'd be walking up here feeling quite excited because you were either going to drive in the race
Or going to watch it.
Green flag is up and the car's on.
But this was a big deal back then.
This weekly meeting brings the whole village together.
Yeah. I'm fascinated. Why did it stop? What caused it? Was it health and safety? This is quite a wow moment for me.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. It's, to see something so vibrant happening on the screen. Fast forward 40 years. 40 years. And that's gone. That's erased. No one, if you were passing, you wouldn't know that happened. You've lived here for 30 years. That would take us to the 70s, late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
And they were still doing it then. And it was in the film, it had only been going for 12 weeks, I believe.
So it had a good 10-year run then of it being here.
Now this is a coincidence. Listen to this quickly.
Sixth race, we've cut your interval a little bit short. We have the cars out on the course, and they are the red tops. Eric driving 484, Tony driving 103. The cars on the course for the start of race number 6.
Now, all being well, we have that man on the line. Is that right? Dave, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, Simon. Good afternoon, Matt.
How are you doing?
Oh, very well, thank you.
Now, Dave works for BBC Radio Suffolk now in a technical way, and he helps Norman Lloyd promote the station around the region. I hope he's sitting under a tree, maybe, in Christchurch Park. Is that right, Dave?
Yes, I'm as far away as I can get from the noise of the Indian Mellow this afternoon.
Sounds like you're used, though, to things going on in the background, because you were the very first banger racer commentator. Was that how you started your sort of broadcasting career?
Yes, it was. It came about by complete coincidence, really, because I worked in Saxmundham at the time, and I knew Eddie Charlton, who was one of the leading lights arranging the racing at Peasenhall, and he happened to know that I had some public address equipment, and that's how it came about. I became the commentator.
So you were involved from the very first ever running of the banger racing, yeah?
Yes, as far as I know, yes.
What was that like? What was that like at that time? Because that's really unusual to have a banger racing in a village. That's unusual, isn't it?
Oh, it was very unusual, and I suppose by today's standards, it was very dangerous in its way. The commentary was done just from an open, raised platform, just at the junction between the track and the pits. And literally, we were right alongside the track doing the commentary. I hate to think what would have happened if some of the cars had come off. Surrounding the top end of the sort of three sides of the track, there was a big ditch which led on into the next field. And it was quite common for the cars to sort of lose control and disappear over the mound and into the ditch.
Ooh. So you were there from the beginning? Were you there to the very end of its sort of run?
No, I wasn't. I was in touch with a colleague of mine who used to help me with the commentary, Ernie Rabette, and we think it was probably 1973 that we finished doing it.
Ah. And was that a health and safety based decision?
No, it was simply that he had moved away to work in Lowestoft, and my wife and I were working in Ipswich, or we're my fiancée at the time. We were working in Ipswich, and we just weren't able to get back to do it.
Oh. So do you follow banger racing still? I mean, I guess now it's like Vauxhall Stadium. It would be there, wouldn't it? If you were going to watch banger racing, that's where you would go.
No, I don't. No, I've been once or twice to Speedway, and we were up at the stock car meeting on Bank Holiday Monday with Radio Suffolk earlier in the year when it was snowing all the time. And that did bring back some memories, I must admit, listening to the commentary.
Fantastic. Right, we better move on. We've got lots more to do today. But before we go, Dave, could you give us some of your commentary style? Maybe you could commentate on someone walking across the park quickly?
Well, that could be a bit tricky, but it's a very long time now. But there's two people just coming across the park now.
Okay, right.
They're going to go through the trees.
Ooh.
If they make it under the trees, it'll be a bit surprising. No, they've not made it.
Oh.
No, he's over. He's on his roof. Stand by for the emergency teams.
Thank you very much, Dave Whiting.
Cheers, Dave.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, next week, Latitude Special. This week, right now, Matt and Simon's Peasenhall Special. Hopefully the audio you've heard already would give you a taster of the film that was shown in in 1969 on BBC One, and that's kind of set it up. That's a taster of the film and getting to know some of the modern villagers who live there.
Yeah, we went and asked them whether they thought it was a good idea, and we got a pretty much unanimous yes. So basically a good response from the people of Peasenhall when we suggested putting on a film night. So it was, for myself and Matthew, all systems go. Now, I wanted to get an authentic 60s vibe going by getting Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch to perform on the night, and then having a fleet of classic banger racing cars drive in formation throughout the village.
Nice idea.
I thought so too, but pragmatic as usual. Matthew there.
Hello.
There he is, reminded me that before we arranged any of that, we first had to put up some posters, find a projector, and of course, hire the village hall.
Oh yeah, details, yes.
How much is the village hall?
£12 per AM, PM or evening session.
OK, we want an evening session, I think.
Yeah.
What time do you think would be best to try and capture the people of Peasenhall?
Probably about 7:30.
It's a done deal. 7:30, the film will start.
Thanks very much.
I think we should continue trying to put signs in windows to advertise our film night. We need people there.
We do, and but we obviously need permission. Was it Bill Stickers will be prosecuted?
Don't be a tosser.
Thank you very much, I needed that.
Hello. Would you be interested in coming, is my first question.
Yes, I would. I'd like to see it.
And the second, can we put that up in your window?
Yes, certainly. Certainly, no problem.
Where's it going to... Peasenhall... Yes, I'll come.
There we go.
4th of July. Oh, that's a special date, isn't it?
For the Americans. Not for us.
No, that's right.
Should be all right.
For the colonies.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll come along and... what? Oh, yes, Reverend Figure. Mrs. Patton, Hubert Always.
Do you know some of those names? Do you know?
I do. The Country Fair, the Smythe Works. Yes, admission free is always a great...
Well,
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I'll come. Thank you very much for popping in.
So you're Debbie and you work here at Emmett's. How long have you worked here?
8 years. I've worked here since Mark's had the business. So, I'd like to say before I used to come in and shop, but like I say, I didn't realise they were famous for the ham and bacon until...
But you do now?
Yeah, I certainly do.
So were you aware that there's a film made about the village shown in 1969 on BBC One?
No.
So at Christmas time in here, I cook almost 800 hams in 3 weeks.
Right.
And
that's your busy period. That is your
peak time for the ham. Yes. Obviously for the bacon, it's throughout the year.
This is interesting because obviously the film is about how life was in 1969 and before, and about the changing village, and there's still life in a village. I mean, this is good. It's a business that's working.
There is. It's quite a unique business today. I think there are still one or two ham makers elsewhere. There's Richard Woodall up in Cumbria who have a warrant to the Queen for their sausages. We used to have a warrant to the Queen Mother for our black hams here. As a pork business, it's been here, I think, since about 1800. I have some contracts where it actually changed hands within the family, who I bought it off, in 1899 and 1898, and then it was valued at £352.709.
Some real consistency there, isn't it, within the village? It was just keeping it going and keeping it alive, which is excellent.
So the people you purchased the business from in 2000, were they the original family that owned it from day one?
Yes.
Film night posters going up as we speak. Prime display position in the window of Emmett's.
Yeah, we just put it round in the corner here.
And hopefully it will attract a sizable crowd.
Are you local?
Yes.
How long have you lived in the village?
11 years.
11 years. And yourself?
Oh, sorry, a year.
You look shocked. We're going to put a film night on. Would you be interested in coming along to watch it?
Yes. Yes. Sharon, wake up. Sorry, I've been up so bad nights. I've had not sleeping, sorry.
He doesn't want to know that.
I know.
That's great.
We saw the summer solstice sunrise. We know what it's like.
Right. Yes, I'd love to come.
What are your names? Your name is?
Sharon Wright.
And your name is?
Carol Chippett.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What are the benefits, what are the negatives of living in this village, in Peasenhall?
To me, I haven't found any negatives. I've come from London and I just love it here. Peasenhall has everything you need. I managed without a car for the first 6 months because you could buy your milk and your bread and your beef and you can buy everything here, and you've got this lovely shop too. What more do I need? I like to walk. I could just go out of my door or walk for miles over the fields. If I want to go to town, well, there's plenty of small towns around. I love it.
Will you come and see our film on the film night?
I would like to, yes. Where is it?
It's at the Village Hall.
Just here. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, will people turn out for the film? We have to actually set the evening up, don't we? We've got to put the equipment in the hall and...
There's an awful lot more hard graft for one of us to do.
Yeah, someone was slacking a little bit, I think.
Well, I just loves me chairs. Imagine, it's the morning of the film show, and we've no idea if anyone's actually going to turn up. Matt there hadn't slept for 6 days and was a pasty-faced, unshaven ghoul of a man.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, but his suffering hadn't been in vain, as in that time he'd got together all the equipment we needed, the projector and the screen, and a couple of pasties as well as a thoughtful snack, which I thought was a nice touch. At BBC Radio Suffolk, his infectious enthusiasm had spread to the studio of Darren Rosier, who did his bit to ensure that the evening would be a success. Now, his efforts were much appreciated, but would they be enough?
That's at Peasenhall Village Hall tonight, if you can make it, at 7:30. But do note, you will need to take along your own refreshments. Talking of refreshments...
that beautiful smell that you only get in village halls.
It's got that warm village hall smell about it as well. And, of course, the beautiful acoustics.
So, it's quarter to 5. We have obtained equipment. Let's get this set up, yeah? See, I'm panicking. I am.
You are. You're quite...
I want to get it because I'm just worried if we don't put the show on, then we've...
You're quite stressed, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, let's get on with it then. I'm not stressed.
Give me a hand with the stuff out the car. We've put the screen up, we've put the speakers up, we've got the speakers on stands, we've got the projector, which is borrowed, my DVD player, an amp borrowed. That's all in position. You've set out the chairs.
Indeed, I did all the technical stuff of setting out the chairs, and they're beautifully arranged, I think you'll agree.
Can we have them facing the front?
I've gone for a slightly offset arrangement, a slight curvature to the design, but I think it's optimum for viewing pleasure for the people who will indeed turn up at 7:30.
I like your confidence.
It's all I've got.
Because it's now 5:45. OK, we've still got a bit more work to do. We've got to tidy up the cables, put some gaffer tape down. We're just running out to the car park. I think we have our first visitor to the film evening here at Peasenhall Village Hall.
Practically early.
What's going on at Peasenhall?
We've got a film evening on here at 7:30 tonight, so yeah, we're inviting the people of the village to come and have a look.
Oh, well, we'll come in a minute. 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
I'll be there.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Brilliant, thank you.
Are you coming to our film night?
Yes. Yeah. Excellent stuff. Oh, well, that's good. We were just fretting in case people didn't show. We'll let you guys go in and grab a seat.
Someone just had a little smug smile on his face. They're coming. They're coming. So it's 7 o'clock. There's 29 minutes.
It'll be fine. It's like a party. Nobody wants to be the first ones there, so everyone's going to turn up. I reckon about 15:15. We'll get an influx.
The Reverend Fickett's son is cycling past us.
Hello.
So you're cycling past the film night. You're worrying me. You've got a tennis racket on your back. You're off to play tennis.
Yes. Well spotted.
Trained journalistic instincts there.
Will you be popping in to see the film afterwards?
I don't think so. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Yeah.
He was in it. He was part of it. You know, it's.
Yeah. You know.
Have you any comment on the film that you'd want to make?
Yeah, it was good. Now it's looking back on, it's a good record of what happened.
Yeah, 'cause not many sons can have a film of their dad, do they?
No, that's right. Not
then.
No, that's right. That's right. With all these video cameras now, there's more about it. But yeah, then it was different. Right.
Yeah, go on. Have a good game. More people.
More people. Fantastic. Brilliant turnout. Really pleased. And it's only 7:10.
Look, I was stressing. You know I was.
Oh yeah, you were stressing, and your lugubrious, depressed face was making us all miserable. But now you're a ray of sunshine, which is great. And it is brilliant to see so many people turning up. It's really good.
Okay, well this is a turnout for the books. We're getting oversubscribed.
We're almost running out of chairs, which on the one hand is brilliant, because it's mean there's loads of people here. On the other hand, of course, it's potentially embarrassing because we're running out of chairs. But I hope people will be understanding. I'll see what we've got.
More chairs. More chairs. I have never seen Talbot be so helpful. He's getting chairs left, right and centre.
The chairs.
It's 7:30. How are we feeling?
Basically, it's a full house of people all gagging to see this movie, and we've got to go and face them in a sec. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming. I'm amazed. We both are amazed and really chuffed at the turnout. Matt here recently was looking at the BBC archives, weren't you? And you stumbled across what you described as a little gem.
Who was in it out of you guys? Anyone? A few hands up there. That's good. If you like, you can count down with the countdown.
agricultural land that reaches up to the back gardens of the occasional village. Before the war, the works had employed 100 men. Now 50 men on half-time were the most it could sustain. One man's high spirits never failed. Hubert Aldridge, the local gravedigger.
What's the difference between a laundryman and an undertaker? Well, the laundryman stiffens the collars and the undertaker collar the stiffens. I think they're jolly good, don't you?
Again and again, the village adapts, renews itself, and lives on.
Don't you just love the sound of applause? I have to say that even though there was a very prominent gaffer tape sound there, we weren't actually getting that crowd by gaffer taping them to their chairs and forcing them. They all came of their own accord.
And in no way did we gaffer tape each other, honest.
No, there's no... Only the cables down for health and safety reasons. But we had a full house, everyone enjoyed it, and it was absolutely fantastic. But that's not quite the end of the story. Still to come, we ask some searching questions and find out what people thought of the night. The Peasenhall Special. And, of course, you may remember the night had been a roaring success. A full house, laughter, reminiscing, and a fascinating piece of social history. Now, you'd think myself and Matt would have bathed in the applause, soaking ourselves in it, in a hall full of positive feedback, but that's not our style.
No.
Well, it is actually mine. I would have loved to have done that. But we wanted to find out what memories seeing old faces had brought back to the surface and how our audience felt the village had changed in 40 years. There were still important questions that needed answering.
If anybody's got anything they'd like to add in terms of memories or comments or what have you, we'd love to talk to you. So,
Hi, I was just saying, Wesley Wincott, one of the old boys on there, was one of the war vets.
Many of their comrades never returned from France.
He used to drive me to school as a child, and there he was looking exactly the same, because obviously I left school in 66, and he looked exactly the same then in 69. I mean, I think we're very lucky that we've managed to keep the school and to keep the shops that we've got in Peasenhall. I think that's what's kept Peasenhall so much more alive than other villages.
Well, the only memory was I watched that film at a pub in Sussex called The Kick and Donkey because I just started courting my wife at the time.
So you watched it on the night of transmission?
Yeah, I did, yeah. In 69, yeah.
So happy I've actually found someone that was watching it.
Yes. Yeah, well, she rang me up and told me.
You seen it before?
No, I haven't, no.
What did you think? What did you make of it?
Very good, yeah. Knew a lot of people on it.
Yeah?
You know, Jack Thickett.
On the Saturday morning I was late. I overslept and I had a service in church at 8:30.
He's a lovely old boy. I'm a livestock haulier and a farmer, and I used to have several deals with him. Come up that man's one Sunday morning. Remember I come and bought that cow?
I do, yeah.
So we got up there, didn't we? This old Ayrshire cow, Christ, that was wild. So I bought it. He said, I ain't got time to argue the price. He said, I've got to be in the church in 5 minutes. That was a Sunday morning, wasn't it, right?
Yeah, one Sunday morning.
So you were driving the tractor?
I was driving the combine as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you were the tanned guy?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we changed a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me a long while ago.
Yeah. What's it like to see yourself?
I don't know, really. I had no thought about it, actually. I don't know what. I didn't really think about it.
Christopher Green's Companies is reopening the old drill works as a vegetable packing plant.
That got a financial muddle.
Yeah.
That did. That went bust. And Bartley's Bank, this is on the record now, Bartley's Bank lent the money unsecured. Right. And one of the bank managers was in severe disgrace and got sent to Sudbury, which was a very bad thing to do at the time.
Sudbury.
And he did, didn't he? Yeah, they was lent the money with no security, and it went bust, and Bartley's lost it.
One man's high spirits never failed.
But Hubert Aldridge was brilliant, because Hubert learnt his trade off his grandfather, didn't he?
He said to one of the other fellows, he said, "Oh, no partner, boy," he said. "That's a rare good cough, and that'll last my lifetime."
And so what he learnt was what they were doing.
My father was my grandfather. Hubert was my uncle.
I know, but he missed a generation out in his knowledge, so he learnt what was done 400 years ago.
Memories of their strolls together are as alive to her son Stephen.
She used to go right out here up the Beddingham Road.
But you won't hear people talk like that now.
And then come back down the Bruce Yard Road, which is a distance of about 4 miles.
You don't hear it anymore, not now.
No.
All old men are gone. You hear people tend, but that is pure natural old Suffolk. and you won't hear that anymore.
But you never, even in his day, heard anybody else talk like him.
Did you not?
No.
No, all on that one note, all on that one level.
Nobody.
He's a great character. Yeah, he was. I think what you saw in that film, I thought about that, you saw the very end of old farming. With the old people and the way they spoke, you know, and the drill works had finished, and everything, that was the end of a complete era, and that rapidly changed from then on.
Then the pub was gone, so there's no community.
And George Evans reckoned there had more change in the previous 50 years than there was in the previous 500 before that. I'm Tony Martin, and I used to farm on Sipton Green, just up the road.
I'm Tony Saw, so you got two Tonys.
I'm Aubrey Humphrey.
I'm Jean Cole. I'm Buddy Humphrey.
You gave us or loaned us the projector, so we've got to say thank you to you, Chris.
Okay, thanks. It's not down to me specifically. It's Peasenhall young people, the youth club who've brought the equipment. We've aimed to do this kind of thing with it, to get the community involved and that kind of thing. When you came to us with that, this is another ideal opportunity for getting the community together and sharing all the history everyone seems to be into around here.
Yeah, so when you want to go to the cinema or something like that, where do you go? How do you get there?
Well, it's either getting a lift into Leiston or something, or getting the train down to Ipswich. Pleasing young people things are trying to get away together, of meeting up without having to go places and spend money and things on it.
Again and again, the village adapts, renews itself, and lives on.
An empty hall, Simon.
Well, once it was a full hall. A good night, all told. It's time we headed off to our next adventure.
Oh, and the adventure never ends.